Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another episode. I'm coming at you with a second video today. This video is going to be about why it is that I choose to work a 9 to 5. Why I'm looking for a 9 to 5. Despite the fact that I live a fairly low budget life with no debts. And this video is going to be for those of you that are thinking to yourself, well, if I had my house paid off, for those of you that are paying a mortgage, you would quit your 9 to 5. Or maybe some of you who are paying rent, you're thinking if you didn't have to pay your rent, you would quit your 9 to 5. Some of you are even thinking, well, I'm not going to pay rent, I'm not going to purchase, I'm going to just live out of my backpack and ride a bicycle around town or walk around town, and that's how I'm going to live my life. And that way I'm not going to have to work a 9 to 5. Well, here's the reason why I'm looking to go back to a 9 to 5, and many of these reasons are also reasons why many of you should probably go back to a 9 to 5 if you don't have some type of a business that's earning you a full-time income or enough money to where you can live whatever lifestyle that you desire to live. Now, for me, I pay health insurance, I got homeowners insurance, and I got my auto insurance. Now, as many of you realize, with this inflation stuff going on, insurance costs have risen substantially. So that's one reason why I feel the need to go back to a 9 to 5, at least for now. Another reason why I feel the need to go back to a 9 to 5 is because I'm 45 years old. I have no desire to sit around all day and not work. And like I told you guys before, I'm not wealthy. I still have to work for mine. I still have to continue to build my retirement fund. I don't have enough money at this point to retire. And also, well, no, I'm not going to go into that because I don't want to get too personal here. But, anyways, another reason why I think most of you should work a 9 to 5 is because even though your house is paid off, or you're living out of your backpack riding a bicycle, or you choose to live out of your van, in any of those scenarios, you still got to pay bills. I don't care if you're living out of your backpack, and you're riding a bicycle everywhere. You don't even own a vehicle. Here's the question for you: if you get hurt and you need medical attention, how are you going to pay for it? I mean, there's been a growing number of hospitals that people go to when they get hurt, and the second that the hospital finds out that you don't got proper health coverage, basically they're going to kick you out. So if you go to the hospital, you got a broken arm, broken leg, or you got some other serious medical conditions going on to where you need attention right away, and the medical attention you may need might be costly, which that's for most medical procedures anymore. The second that they find out that you don't have health coverage, you're out of there. I mean, many of these hospitals don't give a crap about how badly you may be hurt or how sick you might be. They don't care. They will gladly, without no issue at all, they will grab their security and walk you right up out that door. And you'll be sitting outside that door looking dumb as hell, miserable, hurting, looking pitiful probably. These hospitals don't care about you. These hospitals are in it to make a profit. They're in it to make money. So if you think you're going to live out of a backpack and ride your bike and have no health coverage, and then when you get hurt, you assume that your local hospital is going to take good care of you, don't assume that, because that may not happen. And secondly, how are you going to eat? Now, I suppose if you wanted to, you can eat out of a trash can, or you can beg other people for some food. But honestly, I prefer to have money to where I can go to the grocery store and I can buy my food fresh. I can buy whatever I want and how much I want, and it will be fresh. And sometimes when you beg people for food, you got certain people out here that, I'll just put it nicely, they're not the nicest people out here, and they might do bad things to you just because you approach them and you beg for food, because they're looking at you and they're feeling some kind of way like, why don't you get out of my face and go get a fucking job? And there's a lot of people that if you go beg them for food, that's exactly what their thoughts are going to be. Now, some people are a little, they're not 100% up here, so they might do bad things to you as a result. So food and water is another reason why you should always work some type of a job if you don't own some type of a business, despite how you desire to live your life, despite rather or rather not you're in debt. And even if you choose to live out of your backpack on a bicycle, you never know. I mean, you might, that day might, depending on what type of climate that you live in, if you live in northern climates where sometimes it can get below zero, either the temperature itself can be below zero or the wind chill could be below zero. When it gets that cold, how are you going to keep yourself warm? How are you going to prevent yourself from getting frostbite or possibly passing away of hypothermia? Now, if you automatically assume that your local area is going to have a homeless shelter for you, they might have room for you in the homeless shelter, and they might not have room for you in the homeless shelter. So if you go to the homeless shelter and they tell you, sorry sir, ma'am, there's no room, well, guess what? You're going to be stuck out in the cold and you're going to have to suffer, and hopefully you don't get hypothermia and pass away or get severely ill as a result of being out in the elements. And of course, on the other side of that, if you're in a climate where it's warmer, like Alabama, Florida, places like that, there might be days where the temperatures are going to be in the triple digits. Even at night, the temperatures are still going to be in the mid 90s at least. And if you don't have any money, you're not going to have access to clean water. You're not going to be able to rent a hotel for the night to where you can at least cool down so you don't mess around and get a heat stroke. Now, I do realize that there are people out here that do survive in the elements, but many of those people typically at some point they're going to get severely ill. They're going to get very sick. And I've done a video on this channel. I forgot exactly which video it was, but it was a video to where I was, I can't think what the video was, but I did a video not so long ago, maybe about a month and a half or so ago, to where I mentioned that many people who end up homeless typically will live 27 years less compared to somebody that's not homeless. And the reason why that is because typically when you're homeless, many people that end up homeless like that don't have the funds to eat the proper food with the proper nutrition to be able to survive. Not only that, but many people who are down and out like that typically aren't going to have the financial resources to be able to house themselves, so they don't have to deal with the elements, rather it be extremely cold weather or extremely hot weather. So even though you might want to live in a backpack on a bicycle, or at least you think you do, even if you do, I would still advise those people to keep some type of a job, to earn some type of an income, because absolutely zero out here is free. Now, some public parks might have a sink to where you can go and get a sip of water or a water fountain, but I wouldn't exactly count on that because sometimes, like during the winter, many of your city parks might cut their water supply off just to prevent their pipes from freezing. Or sometimes the city water may not be the cleanest, so you might drink that water and get very ill. Now, the reason why I personally, at least for now, am out here. Yeah, can't even talk about it. The reason why I personally am out here looking for a 9 to 5 is because, like I told you before, I try to stay a couple of steps ahead when it comes to my finances because I realize that day is going to come to where either A, I'm not going to be able to work due to maybe old age, or I'm simply not going to have the energy to work due to most likely old age. And when I get to that point in my life, whenever that happens, I want to make sure that I have ample money to be able to live out to be able to live out the rest of my life. I'm not trying to be one of these people that are going to be relying on Social Security. Some of you say Social Security may not be around by the time people like myself get to be retirement age. I would like to say that you guys are wrong, but who knows? I don't even worry about it because there's not a damn thing I can do about it anyway. I figure if Social Security is around, great, wonderful. Obviously, I'm going to take advantage of it when that time comes. But whether it's around or it's not around, I would like to have enough money by that time to where I can go ahead and retire and live out the rest of my life fairly comfortably and not have to worry about going back to work when I'm 80 years old because I'm out of money. Or I have to get rid of my house and live out of a vehicle because finances have gotten too expensive and out of hand. That's the reason why, despite me living a low budget life, a life that's debt free, I still need to work. Whether it be running a business or whether it be just a regular 9 to 5, I still need to work. I'm not one of these people that like to continue to live off my savings. At least not at this point in my life. I try to be as financially responsible as I can. So hopefully this video will help clarify why it is that despite my financial setup, I'm still out here looking for work. And for those of you that are sick and tired of working, and you're gonna adopt some alternative life that you believe will be cheaper, that will allow you to quit your 9 to 5, that will allow you to not have to work. Hopefully this video will help you understand that, yeah, you can do that if you want to, but it would not be a good idea to do that. Because most likely if you do that at some point, you will end up shooting yourself in the foot. So on that note, if you like what I do here, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. And on that note, stay blessed. I'll catch you guys on the next one.